All right, guys, for the first game of Week 11 is my Philadelphia Eagles versus the Commanders, with the Eagles being favored by 3.5 and the over and under being 48.5. So, two really good teams. If you told me the Commanders would have a 7-3 record at the beginning of the season, I thought you'd be on crack because I had no idea. I did like Jaden Daniels, how his play looked like with LSU, but I didn't think it was going to be this great. And Cliff Kingsbury, the whole coaching staff for the Commanders have been doing great with him. I'm, as an Eagles fan, I think we have arguably the best roster in the NFL. So us being 7-2, I'm not entirely surprised. We had a few hiccups, but like losing to the Buccaneers the way we did. But now we're fully healthy. We've turned into a running team. Like I've been saying for weeks, if the Eagles are going to be successful, they have to turn into a fully running team. And now they are. We rush the ball more than anybody, even more than the Ravens. Barkley has already over 1,000 yards, purpose yards, and he's close to 1,000 rushing yards. Jalen Hurts is, man, he has over I think he has 10 rushing touchdowns. He has 8 rushing touchdowns in this 5-game winning streak, so he's killing it. It's one of the best or second best quarterback and running back duo in the league. And the Commanders are one of the worst teams against defending the run. So not so great there. And I'm not really think about it. Other than Scary Terry and Zach Ertz, Brian Robinson is questionable, their running back. Who are you really scared of? Noah Brown, the other wide receiver? They have another wide receiver named Jalen Brown, I think his name is. I'm not entirely sure. I forget. So their offense really depends on the legs and the running game entirely. It opens it up from, obviously, Scary Terry's still good, but Darius Slay and our rookie, especially the rookie Mitchell, he is holding his own against the opposing wide receivers. This guy looks like he was a great pick for us. And like I said before, the Eagles drafting Cooper DeJean, since they implemented him to be in the starting nickel, we've been great. We've been one of the top defensive teams since they put him and implemented him there. The safeties are playing well as well. And the linebackers are finally playing like really good linebackers. The Eagles finally have great linebacker play. It was always their weakness. And we're finally getting at the quarterback as well. Josh Sweat is getting at the quarterback. He wasn't doing it in the beginning of the season. Now he's getting to the quarterback. And Jalen Carter, if you watch that Dallas game, he didn't get that many sacks, but he was just controlling and moving that offensive line. So, and talking about defensive lines and offensive lines, the Commanders, 3 of their starting offensive linemen are banged up. And their defensive line, their best defensive line starter, he's out for the year. So, and the secondary is not so great for the Commanders. They did go trade for Lattimore, but he is not playing this game. So they still have that average to below average secondary going into this game against the Eagles, who have one of the best rosters in the league. The Eagles are coming off a blowout, kick-ass win against the Cowgirls. 34-6, I think the score was. They blew them out. And the Commanders are coming off a loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Steelers kind of showed the blueprint to defeating the Commanders. They blitzed Jaden Daniels a crap ton. Jaden Daniels ended up only throwing for 143 yards, and I think only rushed for no more than 10 yards in that game. So they kind of showed what you could do to get to Jaden Daniels. And don't forget, he did have some rib injury as well. So that just shows you, the Commanders, the 3 good teams they've played, the Buccaneers, the Ravens, and Pittsburgh, they lost to all 3 of them. They beat every other bad team. Every win they have are against teams that are not making the playoffs. But all the losses they have are against playoff teams, or teams that have a chance to make the playoffs. And the Eagles, like I said, they had their schedule's been pretty easy as well. They did defeat the Packers in the beginning of the season, and they got a good blowout win against the Bengals. But they blew out a good Bengals team. They stopped them to only 17 points. And they did lose to the Buccaneers. They got blown out by the Buccaneers. And they lost to the Falcons, but that game that was a dumb move by our head coach. The Eagles should have won that. They really gave that up. So with all that being said, we have 2 rivals who do not like each other that much. But I think the Commanders' defense does not have enough to cover this Eagles offense. There's just too many great players on this offense, and they're all fully healthy. The Eagles get their left tackle back. He's one of the best left tackles in the game. Other than him, the whole line is all healthy. The wide receivers are all healthy. We have our tight end, Dallas Goedert. He's now back. Now it's his second game back from injury. He's healthy. And the defense and the offensive line and the defensive line for the Commanders are injured, like I said, and their secondary is not good. So this might sound like a homer pick because I'm a big Eagles fan, but I think this is going to be a 27-20 game, a 30-21 game, or 30-24. I think the Eagles cover this by a touchdown or a little bit less than a touchdown. I just can't see the Commanders keeping up with them. I think the Eagles, their defense is rolling as well. I think they could contain Jaden Daniels and the running game of the Commanders. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles covering the 3.5, and also give me Jalen Hurts to throw more than 1.5 touchdowns. I think the Eagles covering is the best bet. So take that, guys, and fly, Eagles fly, baby.